Greet you all students of MA Final. This is paper 4th Unit C. Your acquaintance with the eminent poet R. Parthasarthy is obvious, but it is also necessary to know that he is the editor of this famous anthology 10 20th century Indian poets. And in this anthology, we have poems composed by Kamla Das, Jayant Mahapatra, Nassim Asgil, and of course R. Parthasarthy, which are prescribed in your syllabus. Now, you are fortunate enough that the versatile persona of R. Parthasarthy is prescribed in your syllabus. You know, he was a British Council scholar in 1963-64, and he got opportunity to serve as regional editor of Oxford University Press. And he has, passion for creative writing, and his views, ideas, opinions, they must be, source of inspiration for you. As we discussed yesterday, that his special bent of mind, for which is marked by humanitarian approach. Now here I would like to focus the point that R. Parthasarthy, he has become popular for, say, his opinion about the integration of language and culture. And when we talk about the significance of culture, now our Parthasarthy, here, it is also, I think, a must to know that at this level, students, you should consult some good books, journals, and even some articles from there, these important books. Here we have this nice collection of articles, and here the editor is P. Mallikarjun Roy. He's a famous editor, and the title of this book is Post-Colonial Theory and Literature. And we have Rajeshwar Mittapalli and K. Damodar Rao. Now, the reason behind this, I would like to highlight that, editor himself, he actually, he has written one article on R. Parthasarthy. And this is the, significance of culture in human life and the discourse on post-colonial poems, especially the writings. And say, these writers, these poets, they highlight the issues like hegemony of British culture, manners, and style. But what is significant? Yes, of course, they have a craving for Indianness, and this Indianness is the crux of these famous Indian poets. And especially your paper fourth, in which we have even novelist like Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan, and we have famous poets like Kamla Das, R. Parthasarthy, Nizam Askil. So this Indianness is the axis of this paper fourth, mind you. Now here, I would like to share one important experience. Some students, they ask me to tell again the native place of our Parthasarthy. They keep on, speaking it. It is a sort of, a tongue twister. At this time, say, I'm reminded of very important point, and which is, say, the geographical unity. Here, see, have a look. Our Parthasarthy, he hails from Tiruparuttarai, near Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. Now, students, you are from Rajasthan, you belong to Udaipur, and you have been studying in Government Mira Girls College, Udaipur, and now you have got opportunity to study our Parthasarthy from Tamil Nadu, and who was educated in, say, Leeds University, and who also stayed there in England for some time. And as you know, I just mentioned that as a British Council scholar also, he was in 1964, and so this is geographical unity. We are here from Udaipur, from Rajasthan, or say any other place. We have been studying these eminent poets, and this the ideas, the opinions, and the dogmas, and this reflect the cultural ethos, the composite culture we have. We have unity in diversity. So students, you must know this important fact, that when we talk about this geographical unity. Now, at this juncture, it is again a must to know, to delve deep rather, in Parthasarthy's opinion. Now, what is the reason that he has been source of inspiration for the people around, not only in India but abroad, even at the global screen? See, have a look here. Very important quotation. And when we, start studying our Parthasarthy, I think students, each and every student, they must be thorough with this important view, important quotation of this famous eminent poet. And now this is, from introductory note of rough passage. Now, what is there in this, famous quotation? Now, what is the reason that I here focus this quotation? Just have a look. I mean, you just peruse it. It's very important for you at this level when you are studying in ME final. Now, what is the purpose of writing? See, even among the young aspirants, bright students, you must have some passion for writing, and especially for writing poetry. Now, what is the purpose of that? It is really essential to know that poetry, it's not just for the sake of, say, pleasure only, or say temporary pleasure. No, not at all. It is a great contribution to the society, and here it is reflected in the opinion. When, see, in the beginning, when I reiterate, and when I lay emphasis on the fact that in particularly in these poets, when we study these popular writers and poets, we are well acquainted with the views, and what are these views, and we will be definitely enlightened and enriched, and not only for the students of literature but for all in general. Now, writing a poem, it gives me, this is what exactly R. Parthasarthy says. He articulates this. He avers that it's give me a sense of fulfillment. Now, here the focus is on the word fulfillment, and what is the reason behind it that he lays emphasis on this notion of fulfillment. And I get from nothing else. Now, not a single object in this world gives him sense of fulfillment, only the shelter of poetry. So here fulfillment, the notion which is totality. Now, how one can have sense of fulfillment? Not just expression of opinion and ideas, but these ideas, they influence the mindset, human psyche for the betterment of the society around us and to bring about radical change in the society, in the state, in the nation, and which is very relevant even today. Now, when we talk about, when we discuss, we focus the totality, the notion of totality. See, it is more than just satisfaction and contentment. It's not only contentment. Rather, you are overwhelmed when you give contribution to the society. And here, then another point. See, three important point here. He tends to lay emphasis on three significant points, prominent ideal. Now, another point is self. So, is that clear, students? It is sense of fulfillment. And I get from nothing else. See, this is very important point here. And then again, he points out that it is the only way I know of celebrating the fact of my existence, of my relationship with the physical world. Yes, this was exactly our Parthasarthy. See, our Parthasarthy, as is a versatile persona when he was, say, British consul and council of at that time, and even editor, chief editor of Oxford University Press, whatever. But above all, he is a good human being. And therefore, celebrating life, celebrations, students, here it is a must to know that life, which is a celebration, if you have passion for poetry, and a poetry way of life, meaning of life, justification of life rather. Therefore, celebrating the existence, if you know what is the purpose of your existence in this world, in this global significance we have all the time, and local as well as global. So and at the same time, the relationship is also very important. The relationship with the society, physical world in the sense, society you live around, and the people and the manners and rituals and customs, and we have political, social, religious, ethical and moral values also. So this kind of, affinity, connectivity between an individual and the society. And that's why you can justify the significance of your life. So this is second point. Is that clear? And then, the third significant point that here Parthasarthy highlights this point, that it helps me to hold my life in a delicate balance and reach out to an understanding of myself. Yes. So, see, these are, the important sense of fulfillment and writing poetry as a symbol of existence and indicates the relationship with the world. Now we come to this important point of delicate balance and reach out to an understanding of myself. See, most of the time you discuss and say you rather exercise your sometimes you have this kind of mental bent and your mindset about others, what kind of people, the people around the society, and you tend to understand them. But is it not necessary for you to understand yourself? What is your conduct and what is the way of living, and actually you are justifying yourself, or what kind of your relationship with the society, or whether you are contributing to the society, the societal setup. So you must understand yourself also. And it generally happens that, and in order to have some positive and creative and constructive bent of mind, it is really necessary. Otherwise, what happened? You much, strenuous exercises done for others, to understand others. That is That is also important, You have to know about the people also in general. But at the same time, understanding of yourself, then only your conduct would be good and you would contribute to the society. So there must be precision and clarity. Otherwise, people, or they generally get confused. And if you talk about the discretional power, decision making power, so understanding, the notion of understanding is very broad and vast. Okay, so from that point of view, you this point is very significant. Understanding of myself, and it is for this reason that you really maintain or sustain or develop an affinity with the society. So here the notion of understanding is very prominent with the precision, clarity. There is no confusion. And if you want to get success in life, these are really tips. These are very important points. And then he also talks about the profound need in me as a temporary stay. See, this is what exactly, some philosophical bent of mind, getting involved and too much attachment. And then you would feel sometimes depressed and disappointed. And when we, discuss the themes, various themes in these poets, R. Parthasarthy, Nizam Askel, and Kamla Das. I mean, what is the common theme? Obviously, we have a common theme, alienation, and we have, loss of identity crisis, and the reason behind it. The sound reasons behind it, that because they stayed there in England and in European countries. So at that time, their feelings and their intensity of emotions. This is also, all this kind of opinion is also reflected in these poets. But at the same time, whatever influence, for it was just for a while, for certain period, the influence of British culture and manners and style. But what is important? The roots. They really, they were craving for Indianness, Indian culture, the roots. And therefore, the three poems prescribed in your syllable: exile, and the second trial, and homecoming. So homecoming is, metaphor of homecoming. It means you feel belongingness to your place, bondings with the place where you live. It is not that you feel so westernized and all the time. This is what exactly they stayed there in spite of the fact they love India. And earlier it is reminiscent of Nizam Askel's poems also, in which he reiterate that his love for the nation. So this is exactly the opinion which marks the theme of R. Parthasarthy. Now, the point here, when we delve deep, the opinion, the ideas, the ideology of R. Parthasarthy, and his conception of, now we would discuss two important points then. His conception of poetry, and also the significance of language as well as culture. So just have a look. This is very significant point, students, from the point of view of examination. Also, when we delve deep, the eminent poet like R. Parthasarthy. Now here the point is that integration of language and culture. So the poetry, it is manifestation of the poet's self. Now, self, which is again connected with the society, with the nation, and with the world. So entire world is a village. Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam is the point again. Universal appeal also. You have special, passions, emotions, belongingness to the nation, to your obviously motherland. But at the same time, you tend to rise from an individual to general and universal. So this is the poet's self, obviously, but yet the personal becomes impersonal. This is what our Parthasarthy highlights this point. So is that clear? And then the point, another important point, that human experience in poetry, and this is which is universal now. These experiences, they are universal, and poetry communicates the element of truth. So here we have prominence of truth, and poetry is very important, and this the real experience of life with the leaves of images. Yesterday, do you remember when we discussed the point that his as his special bent of mind for imagery, his passion for images, and this poetry is integrated. It is associated with the significance of images. We have leaves of images in, and it is an expression of truth. Then our Parthasarthy is centralized. Now this is very important point, and it has great universal appeal also. And being readers, we really love this idea when he gives importance to the readers. He centralizes the importance of readers. See here in the domain of writing. And then we have, the complement. I mean, he recognizes the complementary relationship among poet, reader, and the society. Okay, so importance, and see his quotation, his famous quotation, in which he, to quote himself, it is the reader who breathes life into the poem, awakening it from its enforced sleep in the language. So reader, lifeline for poetry. And readers, they are in a way good human beings, the citizens, and all in one, in a way. So we have totality in the opinion of our Parthasarthy when he talks about the notion of fulfillment and the human existence, the relationship of an individual with society. So these are, certain significant ideas and opinions of our Parthasarthy, and the appropriate use of language with the impact of culture. So we have composite culture. Language integration between the two is very, very significant point, students, and we will continue and discuss in detail this point. Thank you.